Every sip of coffee, every car on the road, every phone in your hand has traveled across the sea, and 1 in every 4 times it was brought there by a Filipino sailor. More than 90% of everything we use, food, fuel, clothing, electronics, travels across oceans on massive cargo ships. But ships do not sail themselves. Behind every container, every engine, every voyage are human beings who endure storms, isolation, and months away from their families. And among all the world's nations, one people stand out: Filipinos. They make up a full quarter of the world's maritime workforce. That means when the ships arrive, when the shelves are full, when the world keeps moving, it is often because of them. Yet their story remains unseen. Tonight we sail into the lives of the Filipino seafarers, the workforce that keeps the world running. The modern world is built on shipping. Planes carry urgent cargo, trucks deliver goods to stores, but it is the ocean highways that carry the lifeblood of trade. 90% of all goods, from oil and grain to electronics and clothing, move by sea. Each ship is a floating city, carrying thousands of containers across unpredictable waters. But ships do not sail themselves. They require crews, captains, engineers, deckhands, who work long shifts to ensure that trade never stops. Here is where the Philippines stands apart. With more than 400,000 seafarers deployed around the globe each year, the country supplies a full quarter of the world's maritime labor. From massive tankers to cruise liners, from container vessels to bulk carriers, Filipinos are everywhere. Shipping companies seek them out for their skill, their adaptability, their work ethic, and their ability to operate across cultures. In short, the global economy floats on Filipino talent. To imagine the life of a Filipino seafarer, picture months of endless horizon. Crews spend 6 to 12 months at a time at sea, sometimes longer. The work is grueling: long shifts, heavy machinery, constant maintenance, and vigilance against storms. Isolation is a daily reality. Birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, even the birth of children. These milestones often pass while fathers and mothers are thousands of miles away. Despite the hardship, there is also pride. Seafarers know that their labor sustains their families back home and keeps global commerce flowing. They form bonds with fellow sailors, creating brotherhoods that bridge nationalities. A Filipino may share a cabin with a Greek, work shifts with an Indian, and eat meals alongside a Ukrainian. On the open sea, nationality matters less than survival, teamwork, and endurance. But within this international community, Filipinos have carved out a reputation as the dependable backbone of maritime crews. Behind every seafarer at sea is a family waiting at home. In the Philippines, entire towns and provinces depend on the remittances sent back by sailors. Wives balance households alone, children grow up with parents absent for months, and communities adapt to this rhythm of departure and return. The airport farewell is both ritual and heartbreak. Fathers carrying luggage, mothers holding back tears, children clinging tightly until the last possible moment. The money sent back sustains not only families, but also fuels the Philippine economy. Billions of dollars in remittances come from seafarers, paying for education, food, housing, and healthcare. For many families, these sacrifices mean opportunity. Yet no money can replace the time lost, the first steps not seen, or the milestones missed. This is the hidden cost of global trade, carried silently by Filipino families. When the world shut down in 2020, ships kept moving. Cargo still needed to cross oceans, fuel still needed to reach ports, and goods still needed to be delivered. But borders closed, and crew changes became impossible. Thousands of Filipino seafarers were stranded at sea, working months past their contracts. Some served 18 months without touching land. They became the invisible frontliners of the pandemic, ensuring supply chains did not collapse. While the world applauded doctors and nurses, few remembered the sailors. Yet without them, hospitals would have lacked medicines, shops would have emptied, and economies would have faltered. The pandemic revealed how much the world depends on seafarers and how invisible they remain in the public eye. The sea is as dangerous as it is vast. Seafarers face storms that can sink ships, accidents with heavy machinery, and the ever-present threat of piracy in some waters. Each voyage is a test of endurance, not only against nature, but against loneliness and fatigue. Mental health challenges run high as isolation wears on even the strongest. And yet, voyage after voyage, Filipinos sign on, driven by duty and the hope of providing a better life for those they love. It is easy to forget that behind every ship's arrival is a crew that risked their lives to bring it safely to port. They are not just statistics, they are human beings with stories, dreams, and sacrifices hidden beneath the waves of global commerce. Remove Filipino seafarers from the equation, and trade would falter. Containers would sit idle in ports, tankers would remain anchored, and the shelves of supermarkets worldwide would empty. The Philippines has become the indispensable heart of global shipping, a workforce woven so deeply into trade that the system cannot function without them. Yet recognition is rare. Most consumers never think about who brought their goods across the sea. But behind the comfort of modern life is a silent fleet of Filipino sailors, steering through storms and silence, unseen but essential. The story of Filipino seafarers is not just about ships and oceans. It is about families who wait, sacrifices quietly made, and a nation whose people have become the backbone of global commerce. The world runs on trade, trade runs on ships, and ships run because Filipinos keep sailing. The next time you sip your coffee, drive your car, or hold your phone, remember that a Filipino sailor may have carried it across oceans. They are the invisible hands that make modern life possible, heroes not of the battlefield, but of the sea. The workforce that keeps the world running.